Hello, this is Crypto CJ, and it's the trade of the day, Friday afternoon Zoom edition. And Bitcoin's had a little bit of a pullback to be expected, trading in the 45s, 46s the last day or two. And but some of the altcoins have really taken off. Let's check Bitcoin first, and we'll look at some of those altcoins. Okay. All right, you guys should be seeing my day chart on Bitcoin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I redrew in this trend line after Bitcoin broke through the zone it was in, or the channel, or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of bouncing back between 35 and 45, and then broke through and has stayed above 45s and 46 actually. So those two, that 45 to 46 range was the resistance we were seeking to break through. It looks like it accomplished that for the last few days. It did dip into the 44s today briefly, and then came back. So I like what I'm seeing there. Got higher lows on this trend line I drew. So it wouldn't surprise me if we dipped into the low 40s again before taking off, but I'm thinking 42 might be the lowest it goes. We'll see. Any thoughts or predictions on Bitcoin this weekend? No, CJ, that's why we watch you. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this let's see, this is the 50-day moving average. This line here, and this is the vidya, just kind of like an EMA. I've talked about it on other programs, incorporates some other features as well. So it does seem to be kind of riding along, staying above the vidya. So maybe that's what it'll do. God, what's that stand for? I used to know that. Variable index dynamic average. Yeah, that's burned in my brain, isn't it? Not. All right, so yeah, just staying above those key indicators. We'll see if that lasts over the weekend. When might just the SMA is here about 41.3 on the day chart. So that's that would be about the lowest I would expect. Okay, on Ethereum, it's moved better than Bitcoin actually. I've got a steeper climb here, a little bit of a pullback last couple of days. But we almost hit 3,500 on Wednesday or Tuesday. And we dropped down to 32 and then back up to 34.8, hanging around 34.50 now. There was some news on Ethereum though. Can't remember what it was. Actually, it was the Ethereum Classic, which might go to a proof of work if Ethereum switches to proof of stake, but might actually make that ETC project kind of relevant. All right, any questions, comments about Bitcoin, Ethereum in the weekend? Generally, the volume does decrease over the weekend, so prices tend to drop a bit. If you're doing any shorts, those of you trade leverage, you may want to consider waiting till tomorrow morning. Sometimes I do a couple late on Friday night if I see some movement down, because Friday night for us is, Saturday morning for our friend Craig and those in Asia and that part of the world. So keep that in mind. It's helpful to know when you are trading, since most of the volumes in Asia and Europe. It's good to keep that in mind when you're trading. All right.
CJ,
Yes, sir.
how far away is that market close in time? How many hours?
How many hours in what?
To that market close.
To which?
To when to when your market closes, and it starts declining.
Well, the market, the Bitcoin market or the crypto markets don't ever close, but professional traders tend to work, 9 to 5, give or take. But people like us who trade from home, waking hours is what I think
Okay.
of.
Let me change the phrase, the question.
Yeah.
When is 5 o'clock?
Good question. Well, I do have a website for that. I've shared it before that shows the working hours of the various sites. So is that what you want me to show?
Is it a couple of hours? No, I just want to know, is it a couple of hours away or?
Well, midnight UTC time is about 2 hours from now. 5 p.m. Pacific, I think. It used to be. So that's
right. Okay.
Yeah. And then
Sorry,
I've got
it
a
was
website for this.
question.
Okay. Are you messing with me or what?
No, I thought it was a simple question, but obviously not.
No, it depends what, is it, Tokyo, China, India,
Okay.
it all those are different. So
what's this website? CJ, what's this website?
Yeah, let me bring it up. I got a bookmark. I can never remember what it's called. Yeah, finder.com. Probably have to stop this and start it again. All right, so I'll put the link in the chat, but this is what I like to look at. I used to have it memorized, but I'm a little rusty now. So it's 6 a.m. in Hong Kong now. So since crypto is 24/7, people might get up and trade. Some early risers might be doing it now, but I usually I take a break in my day, usually for 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the day, because 7 a.m. for China hits at about 4 p.m. for me, on Pacific time. So that's when things start to heat up again between about 4 and 7, which is about as long as I care to trade. So sometimes I'll leave my alerts on around 8 or into 8 or 9 o'clock, or even all night if I'm just hanging out at home. And sometimes do trading, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I'm not glued to my computer then, but I rely on my alerts, usually on the longer time frames for making trades like that. But it's helpful to know, to have this kind of information, to know when those markets are trading. And in South Korea, Japan, and China, they're just getting up probably in the next hour or so on a Saturday. They have weekends too. So, fewer are going to be trading on a Saturday morning than would be Monday through Friday. And yeah, let me put that in the chat. Copy. And there you go. All right. Well, thanks for that little distraction. That was kind of fun. Haven't gone through this in a while. I think I showed it a month or 2 ago. So let's go over to Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some trades, or at least something that's alert worthy. All right. You guys seeing my Altcoin Alert screen?
Yep.
All right. Thanks. So I like to be on the altcoin radar with the easy mode off. I'm going to reload and look at the AA scores. And our good friend Zilliqua is #1 with an 82.2. It's up just under 10% today. It has had a pretty crazy run. I've got the 1 hour chart open, and as you can see, it went up 100% here, dropped a little bit, then another, over 300% and dipping lately. So this one's been pumping. We were talking earlier about a big event, some kind of meta conference, metaverse thing they're doing starting tomorrow. I think it's in Miami. This run up probably had something to do with this. This is an older project from 2017. Hasn't really done much. If I look at the day chart, actually, a month chart. Week would be better. Well, it did have a pretty big move last year, and then it really crashed hard after the November, euphoria, and hadn't really done much at all this year until this last week or so.
It did pretty much hit that all-time high you just showed overnight. I mean, it was over 23 cents in the middle of the night here.
Yeah, the all-time high is from May of 25 cents, but it got close. At least
Yeah,
on this chart. You might have been looking on a different chart. This is the Binance chart. And yeah, it hit 23 cents and came back from that. For those of you who trade leverage, I was talking about some support lines I'm looking for. I really want to short this, but because I think we're going to have a buy the rumor, sell the news thing. I think they'll sell. I thought they'd sell the news today, and we have had a drop, but I don't know if that's the function of this or Bitcoin dropped a little bit today. So I mean, we're down 14%. That could be the beginning. They've got a support line here at around 17 cents. So I'm looking for it to drop below that and then have it maybe drop down to 14 cents. And then, then hopefully then maybe further down here to 10 cents. So if you're shorting, that's how I would look at it. Now, if it comes down here and bounces up, then that might be more of a dip sequence that you want to go long on. Then maybe ride that up and pick up 5 to 10% on that. So that would be pretty cool in that situation. But just looking at this like I would look at any other token, we've looked at the hour and the day chart, so we have an idea of the big picture. On the 5-minute, it's in the squeeze pattern now. It's like it's dipping a little bit. Got not quite 4% between the Bollinger Bands. Not really great. I'd rather see a sequence like this, a dip sequence. So if you want to go long on this, you've got a couple options. You can put alerts where I just talked about on the 1-hour chart. On the 5-minute chart, you might want to go down to say 19 cents or so to see if it bounces that, off that area. So that would be the price alert on the, if you want to use any of these indicators, divergence, the money flow index, or the relative strength index, MFI, RSI. I like to do those on the 15-minute chart. And for a long, I would want to see it. It's had some pretty good movements once the MFI's dipped below 20. So it dipped here and came back up. Right about here. Had a like 6-7% move. That's a really good day trade. Again here, just hit the 20 value. Took a little longer. Yeah, got about 4% on that one. So that's a pretty good day trade too. So I'm leaning towards the MFI as opposed to the RSI on this alert. So and how we do that, first you would download the money flow index if you haven't already. Click that, it'll put that on your chart. Then right click in here, add an alert on the MFI. You want to be crossing up on the 20 value. The 20 is the oversold value on the MFI. And you want to choose either once per bar close or once per bar. You might want to put, MFI alert, something like that. And you're good to go. So that way, if it dips like this again and bounces back up, that would be, you see a green candle, like this one, a couple green candles here, even though it did dip again. That's it's a pretty good sign for getting in. You can do the same thing on the RSI, the 30 value, crossing up on the 30. I'll show you that real quick, so I don't have to show it again. RSI crossing up, and we use the 30 value. Once per bar close, and I use the RSI most of the time for these kind of alerts, but in the recent past, the ZIL coin's been more responsive to the MFI. So then we have divergence. Divergence is a disagreement between the indicators, like I just showed you, and the price action. You know, we have bearish divergence. Well, we have bullish divergence if the candles are trending down, but the indicators are trending up. So if I don't have a really good example right here at the moment to show you guys, but this is an easy download too on your scripts on TradingView. Type in divergence, and this is the one I like, divergence for many indicators, version 4. That way it's got all the main indicators, RSI, MFI, MACD, you know, stochastic, all of those are on there. And it's really popular. Nearly, you know, over 11,000 people have downloaded this one. And so I'll do a right click on any of these. Allergent. I'm looking for positive divergence. Once per bar close, make sure you click that. Or it'll repaint on you. It means it'll flicker and then go away if you don't click that one. And you got your divergence alert. All right. Any questions on ZIL? Alrighty then. What else do we have? Well, I'm usually looking for very bullish, 80 or higher, preferably 85 or higher. We don't have any of those other than the one we just looked at. The other sort I like with Altcoin Alert is the long-term sentiment sort. And the long-term sentiment is comparing the Twitter data from the 20 hours for the last 20 hours for the last 20, so that last 24 hours compared to the last 20 days. And then I'm looking for it to match up with this Elder Impulse Daily, which is a technical indicator similar to what I showed you with the MFI and the RSI. This is reliant on the MACD and trend-based or momentum-based indicators. So if I see very bullish and bullish, that interests me. That's something I'm probably going to look at. I did have a good trade this morning with synthetics based on this sort. So I picked up about 3.3% on 10x leverage. So that was a good trade. And we'll look at that one in a little bit. I have this one up here, this NOIA network. I haven't used it before or traded it before. I'm a little concerned about 26% up already. Might make me think it's played out. I didn't look at ZAP for that reason. You know, it's up 63% already. Let's check out NOIA. I've got this one up. Okay, day chart. We'll get the big picture. Like many of the coins we've looked at this year, there's a big pump in September, again in November, and then it lost almost all its value, 80%, but it has been trending up recently. So there's plenty of room for a retrace on this one. On the 1 hour, pretty nice move about the last week or so. Yeah, we're up, 63%. On the 5 minute, this one's on KuCoin, by the way. I don't usually show you guys coins you can't trade anywhere, so. Yeah, squeeze city right now. Yeah, 2.5%. So don't like to trade in squeezes unless the market's pumping. And the market's been kind of schizo lately, but mostly up, going up this week. So I'd rather look for a dip sequence, not seeing one here at all. probably because it's been going up. So this again, we're gonna look at our chart and figure out where to put our alerts. So we got some support right about here at 20 cents. Like say 20.4 cents. That would be a good area for a price alert if you don't want to deal with these indicators or divergence. You know, click here, maybe 20.3, 20.4, and you know, dip trade. That's how you do that. If you want to use divergence and or your indicators, I suggest you go to the 15-minute chart. They tend to work better there, or even the 30 or the 1 hour if you're not sure. Sometimes I'll do double alerts. I'll do the 30 and the 1 hour, or the 30 combined with some other indicator. On divergence, positive divergence, once per bar close, that's how you do that one. And on the MFI, looks like we've had some nice bounces off. This one fooled us a little bit. It dropped first. It's not cooperating. We had the dip and the comeback here on the MFI, but there's no green candles here, so I don't think I would have gotten in on these. I've just left the alert alone to see if it was going to dip again, which it did. Probably get in maybe on this. Yeah, this is going up. I probably get in on this green candle, go sideways. Then wow, 33%. I wouldn't have stayed in that long, but I probably would have set an exit point right about here where this resistance is. Gotten out with about 8%, but 8% is a great day trade. So, and then we get
CJ,
another.
Coming,
Yeah.
coming back to the a statement you made before about setting an alert on the 15-minute and a longer time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Which one usually comes in first? Is it the shorter time frame comes in before the longer?
Yeah, the shorter one does. So, in a normal market, I like the 15 for a day trade. If I'm a little not quite sure, I might go with the 30. I've got a couple. Actually, I've been using the 20 as well. So it's just usually whatever chart I look at and see where can I get a trade. Like here, I've got this nice RSI move after the dip, but there's a couple more. Like the RSI didn't give me anything on this move, but the MFI did. Probably would have gotten in right about here, and so that would have been pretty cool. But yeah, the longer time frame is the more accurate the alert usually is. But the downside is you won't get as many trades. So, but if you can't get to the computer that much, if you have a full-time job or a lot of obligations, then you may want to go with fewer trades anyway. And the longer alerts, you should still get, if you have, and on Mondays we talk about iCoin Pro, and they have the buddy coin system where you choose 3 or 4 coins that you follow that day. And if you do that with these alerts on 4 coins, probably a couple will go off pretty much every day. So that's how I usually do that. Anyway, so looks like the MFI is the better indicator for this coin as well. I don't know if that's going to be a trend we see with the others we look at or not, but so the MFI alert would be the right click on here, crossing up on the 20, RSI crossing up on the 30. So I just showed you that last time. So if you want me to go through it again, I will. Otherwise, any questions on NOIA or Syntropy? Have not traded this one before, but it's had some nice action lately. All right, let's look at another long-term sentiment score, synthetics. Yeah, this one did well with this one today. Okay, on the day chart, big pump in September, bit of a recovery in November, then big drop. We've seen this many times this year on the one, but again, we do this to see, where can it retrace to? And this has retracement, potential all the way to $15. So plenty of room to move on synthetics. The 1 hour chart, what's it doing recently? So last week or so, we're up 60%, a little bit of a drop today. The 5 minute. Yeah, what is that? Sounds like someone's car. Okay. So on our dip trading approach, we're not really seeing much in the way of 1, 2, 3 dips. There are a few dips towards the bottom of the Bollinger Band that are triggering, the MFI. These are all, good entries here. This one comes up here on this green candle, dips a little bit. Well, we're on the 5 minute chart. That's not where I put the alert, but up 2%. So that's pretty cool, but I don't see any potential dip sequences. So for support, looks like we have it right around $7, $6.90. Support at $7 here. I'd probably go like 701 or something for this support here. There's a little, 2 instances of it here around 766. I think I'd go with the $7 support and try to catch it there. We have our, weekend volume drawdown and drops in some of these coins. That would be a good entry. On the 15 minute. Interesting. We just dipped below on the MFI and curved back up. So yeah, 778. Yeah. I don't know if I like it that high on the Bollinger Band though. One thing I like about the RSI alerts is that if it drops below 20 and starts to come back on one of these, that's usually a 1, 2, 3 dip, or at least a 1, 2 dip on the 5 minute chart. So if I get dip sequence below here and then I go over my 5 minute chart, it's going to look like a 1, 2, 3 dip there. So that's usually what I'm looking for. I'm not real comfortable taking even though I've got here on the 15 minute chart, the MFI dropping and going back up. This is usually what I'm looking for. It's high. It's kind of high in the Bollinger Band here. So I'd be cautious about that. All right, any questions on synthetics? Okay, let's see. And we had 2 very bullish and bullish coins. That's helpful. If it's just bullish on the long-term sentiment, that's good enough for me. That's something I would usually look at. I trade primarily on margins or on leverage, so I'm looking for coins that I know I can do that with. I don't think TRB or Kai qualify. Ravencoin does. Let's look at that one. Okay. Pretty similar sequence to what we've been seeing. It's got retrace potential, like 14.5 cents. It's half that now. On the 1 hour. More recently, last week or so, up 20%. We're kind of in this channel now after this pump up. The 5 minute. Squeezy. Yeah, less than 2%. So on the Bollinger Bands, I'd like to see 5%, between them. That's usually better indication that coin can move. Got some short-term support right here, right around 7 cents, 7.2. It's pretty close to that now. I might want to go to this support here, which is around 6.95 cents. I think that would be my my price alert. And there you go. Otherwise, alerts on the indicators. Bullish divergence. Positive. And the MFI 20 crossing above the 20, crossing above the 30 on the RSI. All right, I went through that pretty quickly. Any questions on Ravencoin? Well, you guys have been pretty quiet. Maybe I'll look at one more. Let's see, what other sorts do we like to do? The AA score in the long-term sentiment's 95% of what I do. I will sometimes sort the social activity site or sort to see if any more of these will come up. Yeah, I got bullish on XVS. I think this showed up in the last one too, but it's up 22%. Seller, it's up 3%, but bearish on the altcoin alert. If I'm doing this sort, the social activity sort, I usually want to see neutral or better on the AA score. Let's see. Yeah, this one's intriguing. XHV or Haven. I think I've looked at this one before. Okay, it's on KuCoin. Seems like everything's on KuCoin. It's probably my favorite spot exchange. Okay, big pump here in November, and we've seen this before. Pretty nice recovery though. Yeah, trending up hard. Yeah, it's up over 100% last week. Okay, we are in a dip sequence on this one. 1, 2, 3. So if you want to trade this on KuCoin or some other exchange, I would probably wait for a green candle to punch through the bottom of the Bollinger Band here and yeah, and get in. I think we had some trades on Monday. I think Craig and Robert, you guys were on, weren't you? Looks like Craig's away for the moment, but maybe that was last week. I don't recall, but we had a couple. We were in some dip sequences during the program on Monday, and looks like we've got one here on a
yeah,
XHV.
that's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
hit
we
my
both.
mic off.
Okay, I think we both traded mana, if I remember right.
Yes, I think that's correct. It's a long time to remember.
Understood. All right, you're excused. Thanks for piping up though. All right. Well, I think that's a pretty good place to end it. If you guys don't have any questions, any questions on Altcoin Alert, or any particular coins you want to look at, or well, if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and end this now. For those of you. Oh.
I'd like to see you set an alert in the next half hour.
Okay.
Go slower, just so I can digest it.
All right. Well, let's do that now. I think that's something that could benefit the everybody on. So So do you have a particular alert in mind, Mark?
Not really. Just the next one that you see that came up. I didn't get into Zilliga or whatever it is. So
Zilliqua?
I feel happy about that. So, but any of the others is fine.
Okay. Let's Solana's had a nice move lately. Let's look at that. We got something in the chat. Okay. All right. Andre's got a alert related question as well. I started setting alerts on TV, but how do you cancel it? Okay. Let's do that first actually. Up here, you've got these different buttons. Like this one is the watch list and details, and that's the one you usually see. And I go with my fib retracements, but I've got several different, lists. But this is the other one, alerts. So if you want to cancel those that are current, you can click settings, click active, and it will only show the active ones. And then if there's ones you want to stop, you click on the alert, and then you click here, stop. Now, this will stop it and not delete it. So if you want to use it again tomorrow, say I do these before I go to bed usually. I turn all these off. I used to let them wake me up at night. I quit doing that, but I used to get RSI alerts at 3 in the morning and try to trade off my phone, and worked for a while and then it didn't. So, but anyway, that's how you do this. You just click on stop here and you're good to go. Or you can hover over it and it'll give you this button, or I think you can right click on it and stop. So those, like most computer functions, there's 3 ways to do it. So, all right. So, yeah, Mark wanted to look at alerts. The alerts I use for dip trading are what about Heikenhashi candles on this? If I had this on all of them? No. All right, so on my 20, I clicked that alert, that's why. All right, so on my 15-minute chart, when I want to catch a dip that's starting to rise, these are the alerts I use. This is the divergence alert, and I showed you how to get to it before. Right click on it. Negative divergence is the first one listed. So if you're trading spot, you're always going to choose positive divergence. And that'll help you find a dip trade sometimes. So that's one way to do it. And you want to go with once per bar close. And then the other alerts I like to do are the MFI and the RSI. The RSI is the most I use. So you click on the RSI, add an alert. I want to be crossing up. The 30 is the oversold. Most traders use that once per bar close or once per bar. And then call it RSI alerts, what I usually do, whether it's a short or a long. And the reason we do the crossing up is we want it to go down and then come back up. We want to be trending up from a dip. So I think that's the best way to do that. And then the MFI, it's pretty similar to the RSI, crossing up. And 20 is what we usually use for that one. And once per bar close. But those are the, kind of the defaults that most people use. But like here, this one never got to 20. It hit about 22.8 and then started going up again. So that would have been, pretty good entry. Almost 5%. That's a good day trade. So if you see that, I usually look at what the MFI has been doing the last day or two on this particular coin. And then if I see, 2 or 3 instances where it didn't make it to 20, maybe down to 22 or 25, then I might, instead of using the 20 value, I'll use the 25 value. So add an alert instead of putting 20 there, 25. So is that help, Mark?
How'd you open up that window again? What'd you do to initiate that?
Which window?
The alert window? How'd you
Right click on the indicator.
Okay, right.
So,
you right click.
Yeah,
Okay,
right click.
I
And the
see.
third thing is add an alert. So if you click on
Right.
any indicator, usually the second or third is going to be. Actually, this is the first one. I guess it depends on the alert or the indicator, but.
So the key is to initiate that in the indicator, in that section, to set the alert. Okay.
Yeah, you can do it through this button up here.
Right.
It'll show you what indicators you have. And I actually recommend this for Bollinger Band alert. Let's say you want to do an alert when something drops below the Bollinger Band.
Mm-hmm.
If you click on here, it's going to give you it's kind of confusing. So you just click on it cleans it up when you just click on the name of the token, crossing down. And then your value here is where you can choose, what you're putting the alert on. So it's going to be the Bollinger Band, and it'll ask me for upper or lower. So this is the Bollinger Band alert. Find dip trades this way too. But
Thanks.
all right, you're welcome. Okay, any questions on TradingView alerts or dip trades or altcoin alert? We've run a little long today, so I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. If you're in the carbon group, you want to hang around for that. I'll take a short break and we'll start that one shortly. For those of you watching on the recording and who came and hung out with us live, I appreciate that as well. Have a good weekend.